Okay, quick announcement before we get into this, right? JJ, for whatever reason, he does not believe me that I know Doctor Who, okay? Because he's a Doctor Who guy, and we have another friend who also watches Doctor Who, and he won't believe me that I know Doctor Who. Because he always tries to prove that I don't. So, in the future, this is a guarantee right now. This is set in stone. We're gonna do a segment on a podcast where he's gonna try to disprove that I know Doctor Who. Right? And I'm gonna just try to demonstrate that I know Doctor Who, and y'all can decide in the comments section. Or we can make a poll. I don't know. Welcome to Trash Talk Podcast. How are you all doing? My name is Alex. I'm sitting here with another dude, and his name is JJ, and that name was given to him by me. And the question on everybody's mind, of course, right now is, how is JJ doing? So who better to ask than JJ how JJ is doing? JJ, how are you doing?
I am actually surprisingly doing fine, despite you asking me that all the fucking time.
I do ask it a lot, but that's because I care.
He does not care.
I care. Like, prove it. Like, prove it. I mean, why else would I ask you?
Well, I mean, I guess part of that could be to annoy me, which, you know...
True. It's not true.
You are getting on my nerves.
Nice telepathy there. It's not true. Like, you know my intentions, of course, apparently. Like, that's not because I'm trying to be a good friend or anything. Like, just because I want to know how you're doing. Like, that would never cross your mind, would you?
No.
For me, you know, hey, if you want to be that guy, I'm still gonna ask you because, like, I'm a good guy. I'm a friendly person. I do that. I mean, I do. You want to get started with the podcast?
Yes. So, our first topic is actually one that I brought up despite not being the more knowledgeable person about that. Which, you know.
We're gonna lose all of our subscribers to controversy.
No, we are not going to go too controversial on this because the topic is politics, but instead of talking about like current politics or anything...
Not controversial politics, choose one.
Like, the point is we're going to talk about politics in the more abstract by going over basically the different ways...
Abstract, like abstract art? Like colors,
exactly.
Like color spectrums and all? Like what exact color is Donald Trump?
Orange.
Is it just orange though? There's like a million shades of orange.
I'm pretty sure if we were to have an in-depth discussion about color, we would need to have a woman on here.
Absolutely.
Which, considering we don't know any of those, that's gonna be hard.
Well, we do know some of them, but they would never. But
I don't think we can get either one of our mothers on here, so you know.
Yeah, probably not.
And that pretty much is it.
That's close to being it, right? All right, so. That's the reason why we talk about politics on a Friday night and not do anything else. But okay, so you came up with this topic, and he literally wrote down we're going to talk about some abstract-ish. I'm not going to say the bad word
because YouTube will know, and will make our video not advertiser friendly, which doesn't matter.
They will haunt us in our sleeps if we do it. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I was thinking about talking about like the different political concepts and why a lot of those are nice in theory, but none really seem to work out as well as we want them to. So, for example, I guess the most interesting one is the democracy, which sounds like a great concept, right? You have the people choose.
Yeah, but it only works in theory.
And yes, it only works in theory. So having a direct democracy where basically people vote on everything.
Switzerland does that.
Yes, but for a bigger country especially, that would be like way too slow.
Imagine doing that in the United States.
Yes. Like asking everyone their opinion is like, you can't just do that, especially when you do that a lot.
Yeah.
And then you have the representative democracy, where we elect people to represent us.
And they don't do it.
Yes, and then everyone complains about their politics.
Yeah.
Which, the problem there seems to be that surprisingly enough, we can't find a single candidate that everyone agrees with.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. Like, there's not going to be two people in the history of ever who will agree on 100% of everything.
Yeah, but that's the problem, right?
Right.
And everyone's going to complain about the things that they disagree with. Because, like, if the person who's in power right now, like, does, say, 60% the way you want it to be.
Yeah.
Like, most likely you're gonna be
That would be a
talking way more often about the 40% that they don't
Of course.
do like you wanted to.
Yeah, but that's a psychological thing too.
Yes.
Like valuing losses or negativity higher than positivity and like gains.
And
That's why it's way harder to cut weight instead of just bulking up all the time and making gains in the gym. That's the same reason. I'm sure of it.
so, getting back into the politics, I guess.
Hey, yo.
Democracy kind of works. I mean, our governments are relatively stable. Like, I don't think there's
Governments are stable. Are they effective though? I don't know.
No. And there's another problem there, which is bureaucracy,
Yeah.
which just slows everything down.
In certain countries, it's worse than in others.
Yes.
But I do know a thing or two about it. Like what I always love about like the cynical view that you can have at most elections these days. Like look at the election like last year, like Trump and Clinton. No one would like people were never agreeing on who it was gonna win, but pretty much what everyone or most people would agree on was like who's not gonna win, which was the American people.
Yes.
And that's the whole like that's how it's always been for like years and years. Like I've never witnessed an election in the United States that like people were telling me like we're gonna win. Like they did, like the hype was big for Obama in his first term, but that turned out to like that went to shit. Oh, it's the word.
Yeah. Anyways,
I might have to edit it out. I'm not gonna.
So yeah, that's like that basically perfectly illustrates my point, right?
Yes.
Like, it sounds great to have like a few people that represent the interest of all the people, and they make all the decisions so that we don't have to, like, on a weekly or even daily basis, make like all the important decisions for our country. But it always turns out that people are disappointed in them, which partly is because of what they want to do and partly because of what the system allows them to do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, the thing is, like, with the so-called democracy that we live in is more of a oligarchy than it is a democracy per se, but it's still within the boundaries of a democracy, and that's the problem, right? Because a perfect democracy doesn't really exist.
Yes, I don't think a perfect version of any political ideology actually exists.
That's true. Because like what would be like taking the idea of a perfect democracy like to the extreme will be like everyone's gonna be valued the same. Of course, everyone's like vote's gonna be valued.
Although
the same.
that is. Everyone being valued the same is more like socialism than democracy.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I was getting at. Like that's kind of another, like concept or system that in theory is like outstanding, communism.
Yes.
But like when applied in the real world, it hasn't worked so far. Like it really hasn't. Like any like major countries or like empires that are based on that have disintegrated. And I'm not saying that major countries or like empires or whatever based on capitalism will last forever. I'm convinced that's not going to happen.
Probably not.
And I'm not going to say capitalism is that's a solution, because it's not.
Definitely isn't the solution.
It's just flat out not. Like I said, it's an oligarchy, right? So it's like, how do you find the middle ground on that though? Like, is there really a system that you can kind of defend and say that's the best system we could apply?
That's the thing, right? Because in theory, democracy and communism both sound great.
Yeah.
In practice, we don't like either one of those.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing about having like one ruler with all the power, like say in a dictatorship.
Yeah, it'd be easier.
It would definitely be easier, and if that person had the best interests of the people in mind, that would be a perfect system.
Yes.
But of course, humans are inherently selfish.
Yep.
And as they say, power corrupts, ultimate power ultimately corrupts. So, like, that wouldn't work out either. Again, in theory, it sounds great, having one benevolent ruler.
Yes, but that person,
that's just not gonna happen.
Exactly. He could never make everyone happy, and it's always going to lead to oppression. Like that's what always happened, pretty much.
A similar thing can be applied to democracy as we practice it these days, where there is a few people who we can choose between, which oftentimes no one likes any of those.
It's pretty much we can elect our king for a certain period of time, and during that period of time, that king can, do, like, tell us whatever they want to tell us.
Yes. And communism doesn't work out for different reasons.
Mostly economical reasons.
Yeah. But it also doesn't work out. Then one thing that you...
Know what else doesn't work out? You. JJ doesn't work out. He never lifts weights. That's what I'm saying.
Nice.
Right?
So, one thing that you very much like in theory that I'm pretty sure you also wouldn't like if it actually happened was
talking about anarchy. Yeah. That's the thing, right? So, like, anarchy it's more of a protest, like, position than anything else. Because it's not really an organized system as much as it is lack thereof.
Yes.
And, like, anarchy is always displayed as this, it's like violence everywhere, there's no law. There's, like, everyone can do it, like, people will break into your house at will and steal your shit and kill you.
Yes, that is exactly how it's usually displayed.
It's pretty much displayed as a zombie apocalypse without the zombies. Like, there's no order anymore. But, like, what do you think that would really happen? Like, if there was, like, right now, if there was no laws right now, like, even, like, the movie The Purge, right?
Yes.
I'm bringing up a movie right now. But,
Ooh.
do you think in the actual society where they managed to not have crime and live fairly reasonably peacefully together, and then all of a sudden there wouldn't be law for a certain period of time, do you think those people who live day in, day out, like their regular lives, peaceful with each other, would just all of a sudden, just because they legally could, start like killing and burglarizing their neighbors?
No, but the people who have those tendencies already wouldn't be punished for them, and it would be easier for them to get away with it. I'm not gonna go like in depth about the prison system and all that fun stuff.
These people would be in the minority in society, right?
Yes, of course. And
I mean, civil alliances would form against those types of people.
Inevitably, some kind of opposition to those people would occur, which would probably end up in them being killed.
It would relate. I'm not gonna. I mean, this would end up in like civil militias and all that shit, which is a whole other thing that, is debatable, very much debatable.
And another thing for the anarchy that you said that people weren't gonna turn violent all of a sudden, which I agree with.
Yeah.
But there's also like smaller things. Like a lot of people might be more tempted to like steal.
Sure.
Like when they think no one sees them or something, they think they can get away with it because like even if they were found out, no one could really call them out.
Yeah, sure.
But at the same time, people would also always be afraid of like actual serious retaliation, like being beaten up or maybe even killed.
Exactly.
For doing something that in our society would be unlawful.
Because you can extract a punishment yourself too.
Yes.
Because that's legal too. Or it's not illegal, better yet. But here's the thing, right? Like the system, like the model that I'm thinking of, that is built more upon acting not like by law and having like civil life and social life dictated by law, but by certain moral codes that just exist in society, right? That still exist, like even if there's law to the vast majority of people. Yes,
there's a few basic things that I think most people can agree on. Like,
I'm not gonna needlessly kill and burglarize.
Yes, exactly. Like,
if it was legal right now, I wouldn't like it. Just wouldn't do it.
Don't kill, don't steal. Like, there are a few basic things that most people I think could agree on.
Thou shalt not do this and this.
Yes. And you could probably build a society on that principle. The question is if you could do that in our world, assuming that all the cultures and societies and countries, at the end of the day, around them would not do that. Because I think they would be taken advantage of by not having, like, a centralized government.
Of course. Like, anarchy is would only ever work if it's a whole earth thing. And another thing they would do, it would throw us back. Like, historically, It would throw us back. We'd have to, like, completely overhaul everything and be, like, content with 16th century peasant life, basically. Because there's not going to be a government, at some point, there's not going to be currency.
Yes.
It's going to be trading, which that's not bad.
No.
Is it a lower quality of life, like, compared to, like, from technology and shit? Of course. But
there are probably people who would disagree, but in general, yes.
yes, yeah, probably is. Like, look at the Amish, right?
Yes.
They are peaceful people. Like, they really are peaceful people. And they live way back, like, without technology and all that stuff. I can understand that it was, like...
Yeah, I mean, there is some dubious shit going on there that,
Sure.
like, doesn't necessarily get out too much,
Of
but
course,
yes.
it would be very, very hard for people these days to put up with that, to make that change. People won't really do that. Like, you use into the life that you, like, have right now, you wouldn't want to give all that up, like, give up the internet, give up all institutions and centralized things.
YouTube money.
YouTube, like, millions of a YouTube, right? That's, like, we're complaining about capitalism
Yes.
and still making millions on YouTube.
Well, we're not, but yes.
Are we not?
Not yet.
Have you checked recently?
No. Also, this video is, like, pre-recorded, so I have not checked recently as of this video coming out. I have as of this video being recorded, which we don't even have monetization enabled yet.
That is true.
But, yes.
But we might be rich.
Yes. By the time this video comes out, we're probably gonna be millionaires.
Off of YouTube.
Yes. Which is, like, going from 7 subscribers to, like, millions.
7 millions.
Yeah, sure.
A lot. Okay. We're having this political discussion for quite a while.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into the next point, maybe.
Yes, so let's
So
go
this
to
is,
our halftime
I mean, it's
show.
it's an interesting topic, certainly, and you could, like, start. If you're gonna have a debate in the comments, like, please be respectful, okay? It's
Yes.
always gonna be with the things like politics and religion, and I know we're throwing some crazy stuff around with the ideas, like, talking about, anarchy could work out like this, and communism sounds quite good. Like, this is just, like, I'm not saying I'm a flat-out anarchist. I'm not an it's just a flat-out anarchist.
And we're also not communists.
It's kind of hard to be that, right? But
Yes.
it's like, it's still the easiest thing to do is always to criticize the present system.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And I love criticizing capitalism.
Of course.
I love doing that. It's just like, I'm a confrontational kind of person by nature.
Yes, I know.
So that's what I just kind of like to do. Okay, please be respectful though. Like, don't start a civil war in the comment section or whatever. Don't get me with the whole Trump and Hillary stuff. I mean, just it's over right now, and pretty much.
Also, if you want to discuss the color of Trump, feel free.
We're not gonna discuss.
We mentioned that in the
We're not gonna discuss Trump right now. We might get it. We might.
No, I was saying in the comments, if they want to disagree with him being orange, they can do that.
But yeah, sure. Like, let us know, right? Instead of like starting this heated debate, which is gonna go crazy at one point, let us know what someone in the comments, some woman in the comments, what color exactly is Donald Trump's face? That's what we need to know right now. Okay, so,
Question of the week.
Question of the week. That's the thing right now. We're gonna do that question of the week for every podcast. Have him answer a question.
Yeah, sure.
First ever question of the week. What exact color is Donald Trump's face? Like, get the color spectrum out, and like with the whole coding and shit. Like, give us the exact code. and
like the exact hex code.
Yeah, exactly. I will find that. Okay. We've got a little quiz for the halftime show today. And today, first time, there's going to be something on the line here, right? So, I've got a quiz for you.
Yes.
And you have got to answer it or get it right in the parameters that I'm going to explain to you soon. But here's what's going to happen if you can't do it, right?
Yes.
If you're not going to manage to do it, as a punishment, which isn't really a punishment, it's more of a reward actually, you are going to finally have to watch all 3 matches of Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega in 2017. Now,
There's 3?
There will be a 3rd one.
Okay.
At this point, it has been announced. At the point of releasing this podcast, it's probably still not happened. But you're going to watch the first 2.
Yes.
And you're going to watch the 3rd one too once it comes out.
I probably at some point will do that anyways, but sure.
Because he's been Joseph stalling on this for ages, okay?
Those are long, man.
They're so good though. Tell him how good they are. Okay, so here's the quiz, right? It's wrestling related too, okay? I mean, you could have got... Okay, so I'm gonna need you to name all people who have so far been NXT champions. And here's the thing, right? There have been 12 championship reigns. I'm gonna give you this information, right? 12 championship reigns, 11 different people. All right,
Only 11?
11 people. I need the 11 people who were NXT champions before. If you get 9 of them, you win. Right?
Okay.
If you get less, if you get at least 9. I'll give you 2 freebies. Like 9 of them, you win. Less than 9, you do not win. Doesn't have to be in order. 11 people who have been NXT champions. If it helps you, I can tell you when the first person became NXT champion. That was July 26th.
So
2012.
let's go through this in a relatively reasonable order.
Alright.
Like, currently, the champion... I mean, I haven't watched NXT in a bit, but I'm pretty sure currently still the champion is Bobby Roode.
Yes.
Before that, we had... Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes. And I just noticed it's only been 10 people, apparently.
Okay.
So there has been 10 people so far who have been NXT champions. There has been 12 title reigns in total. And there's 10 people, right? Because they were split up a little bit. I'm going to need you to give me 8 of those people. If you get 8 of them, you win. If you get less than 8, I'm going to give you 2 freebies. If you get less than 8, you lose. You're going to have to watch the match.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay, so currently still champion is Bobby Roode.
Yes.
Before that, we had Shinsuke Nakamura.
That is true.
Before that, we had Samoa Joe.
Also true. That's
And
3.
before that, it was Finn Balor.
Yeah, that's 4.
Now, I honestly don't know from whom Finn won the belt, but let's just go from who
Well, it
I
doesn't matter. But
know was champion. So, I'm pretty sure Seth Rollins was champion.
Yes.
I think he was the first champion.
He was the first.
Actually. I'm pretty sure Bo Dallas was champion.
That
at one
is
point.
true.
And oh god, I have 6. I need
6.
8, and there are 10.
Yeah, so there's 4 more, and you need 2 more of them. I was kind of surprised that you got Bo. Actually, I was thinking that was one of the ones that you would not come up with because it sounds so alien right now.
I did hear that at one point somewhere. Now here comes the fun part.
Yep.
I'm actually kind of unsure right now about Neville because I know he definitely won the tag titles at least twice with different partners. I don't think he was actually NXT champion though. I'm not sure. Wait, I'm gonna say Neville because I'm not entirely sure.
That is correct.
Yes.
He
So
was in it. So that's 7, right?
yes.
So there's 3 left, and you just need 1 more.
Yes.
You just need 1 more.
Oh gosh, let me think. So I know that. Let's go like there were high-profile players. There was definitely Cassius Ohno was a high-profile player. He definitely did not win it, which is kind of his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Hideo also never won it because he recently had a match for it, which also he lost.
Also, I'm gonna give you 3 more attempts. So you need to name 1 more name. If you name 3 wrong names, you lose.
Okay.
So you have a couple of tries.
Yeah. So let's see who was in NXT. I don't think Corey ever won it either.
Don't take too long though, the people. Man.
I know, but
Right?
this is a thing you have to think about. You can't just name
I
him.
know. I'm just gonna keep talking while he's like doing the thing. Just keep thinking, man. What color is Donald Trump? Like, what's the exact color? It's not just orange, is it now? It's like I like to call it New Jersey rich guy. New Jersey old rich guy who's not Italian orange? Possible? Let us know. Make up a name. Make up a name for it.
Talking about making up names, let's think
Yep.
like NXT. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say there was no champion who's currently in NXT still.
I'm not gonna give you any answers. I'm not gonna give you hints because you're already pretty good at this.
Yeah, I mean, I happen to know a few of those.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it wasn't that many, but a lot of the reigns were relatively long.
Yep.
Wait, didn't Bo even win it from Neville or other way around?
Who?
Bo and Neville, didn't one of them get the title from the other?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I can look that up if you want to. Yeah, Neville won it from Bo.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna guess people who I knew were in NXT, so I don't think he won it, but let's just say Corey.
No.
Didn't think so.
Let's hope he doesn't get this, man. I really need this man to watch these matches. Because how do you call yourself a wrestling fan and not watch the best matches ever.
I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who that applies to, but
Is it like a true wrestling fan? Not just a normie, not just like I turn on to Raw every now and again and watch the WrestleMania.
I'm pretty sure there are those as well. But
Like, alright, I'm still you better than that. You like you gotta watch those matches. All right, he's got 2 more attempts. To name at least one of the 3 remaining former NXT champions.
yes, I'm thinking right now who was in NXT even. From people who are currently on the main roster, there's probably at least one person who's not even in WWE anymore. I don't think any of the Nexus members were even really in NXT, like when it was like
Yeah,
the FCW NXT.
like the first season of NXT, which is like a game show pretty much.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the second season was the game
That
show. The
was
first one
some-
was like more like Tough Enough, basically.
Yeah, that was some shit.
Where also all the original Nexus members came from. Let's throw out some names, man. Who could have?
Throw the names.
I'm just gonna guess. I don't even know if it was in NXT. Sandow?
No,
Was he even in NXT? Do you know that?
I believe he might have been. We could do research on that. If anyone actually cares, you can let us know in the comments. I'm not sure if he was. He may not have been there at all. Not sure. Okay, so you got one more attempt, and let's pray to the wrestling gods if he doesn't get it. So
I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get it.
so he's gonna like you. Also, I'm not gonna say anything right now because I don't want to drop any type of hints.
That's the thing, right? Because I could get all the recent ones since I basically watched, which I think started when Finn was champion. So everything from Finn
Yeah,
onwards
sure.
was
The ones that
relatively
you've
easy.
seen yourself. It's
And like the others were just like people that I happened to have heard about them being champion. I mean, like I think Rollins every now and again mentions it that he was the first champion.
okay.
He
So
also was FCW champion before that, which
yes, that's true. Okay, so you want to take a final guess?
Yes. Let's take a final
Toss
guess.
out the name.
And I
Hopefully, the
don't,
wrong one.
again, I don't think. Wait. Let's just say Sami Zayn.
That's correct.
Oh wait, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens both held the title, right? If you remember that.
That's the one
God
that was
damn it.
so easy. I was gonna.
Those were
That's
so
the one I was
obvious.
gonna roast you over if you didn't get those.
So yes.
Sami and Owens.
So
So
wait,
you got 9 of the 10.
yeah, with like 11 guesses, I got 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
So you win the quiz. And do you want to take a random guess who the last person is?
Ooh, let's.
He's never gonna get that one.
Fuck's sake. Final guess.
He's not gonna get it.
He's okay.
Never. You could take 100 guesses right now and not get it.
Then just tell me for fuck's sake if it.
It's Big E Langston.
Oh.
The Big E from the New Day was an NXT champion. I was so stoked that he was about to choke so hard on Owens and Zayn. Like this, like the vignette that they played once they had a feud in the main roster, like all the time. How he turned on Zayn.
I
that
completely blanked on that.
It was. I mean,
That was bad.
You were this close to committing career suicide on the internet.
Yes.
Like on national live internet.
Yes.
Is it live though?
No.
Is it national?
It's also international. Yes.
It's but it's internet.
Yes.
I think we
It
mentioned
is actually internet.
it is internet. We mentioned that before.
So you got 1 out of 3 things right.
Yep, that's fair enough. That's enough for me. Okay.
So yeah.
What's good? What's next, man? Let's
Next
do it.
is the fact of the week. And
go
what
ahead.
is your fact of the week?
You can start.
Okay.
Because mine is a bit more complicated.
So, my fact of the week is a relatively simple one along the lines of what I've previously done, and that is a line that's often misquoted from a very famous movie, which, in fact, is the Star Wars movies.
I knew it. I know what the line is too.
Yes, so the famous quote is
Luke,
that,
I am your father.
and actually, what he says is that after Luke says something along the lines of, "You killed my father," what Vader says is, "No, I am your father."
He doesn't say Luke. In the entire quote, he doesn't say the word Luke. And I knew that too. And I'm proud of that.
Yes, so what's your fact?
I'd also go back and watch that because you're not going to believe it anyway. Okay, my fact is not so much a fact as it is a question linked to a fact. But okay, I'm gonna have to explain this right now. But stick with me. You know what a kiwi fruit is, right?
Yes.
Is this fruit the kiwi, right? So there's like it's basically it's a berry fruit type of thing with like a fuzzy brown peel around it.
Yes.
And it's like 2 inches in diameter and 3 inches in length.
Sounds about right.
That you know the kiwi fruit, right?
Yes.
So there's like different types of. There's like yellow and green ones.
I didn't know that there were yellow ones.
There's yellow ones. There's even more like different. There's probably orange and Donald Trump colored ones.
Okay.
But there's yellow and green ones. Like that's because I saw that on a poster like today, like this morning, when I was sitting in a bus. I saw 2 kiwis, right? Kiwi fruits. Like one was yellow, one was green on the poster because people were selling those somewhere. Now here's my thing, right? The dude, like, what they do is, like, they put little stickers on them, right? You know that? Like, how they put stickers on fruit? Yeah. And they put a green sticker and a yellow sticker to signify what type of kiwi fruit it is.
That makes sense.
So, the dude whose job it is to put on those stickers on them kiwi fruit, how does he tell if he's got, like, what type of color kiwi fruit that he's got in his hand?
I would assume that that's based upon where they come from, like that there's like one entire farm where it's just from one type. Then they ship them, and then like the person just like puts the stickers on all of those, like based upon which crate they came from.
Are you telling me, like, provided the fact that there's even such a thing as like such a ridiculous specific thing as just a kiwi fruit farm, there's a specific farm for yellow kiwi fruit?
I'm not saying there's a farm that just produces those, but I mean, out of all the kiwis they produce, it's probably just those.
Yeah, but like, say it's
like, probably based upon some kind of environmental factor.
So you're saying it's like there's a whole like farm and whole factoring process dedicated to green kiwi fruit as opposed to all kiwi fruit.
Yes, I would assume so.
That's interesting. Like, I because from the outside they look the same.
That's just a guess, though.
And they can't really cut holes in them either.
Yeah, so
and they're not going to be bothered to throw all of them to a scanner, right?
Yeah, so that's why.
And they can't do it by dumb luck, because if like say you get yourself a kiwi fruit with a yellow sticker on it, expecting a yellow kiwi fruit, right? And then you cut that thing up and it's green inside. Like you could sue them for millions.
Probably not, but yeah.
Probably
they're just gonna claim that someone in the supermarket actually just moved the stickers, like a customer, and then they're gonna be like, yeah.
That's also a thing one should do, right?
Yeah, we should do that. We should go to a supermarket and switch all of the stickers.
That's diabolical.
Also, we should not do that because that's probably illegal.
That's diabolical. We gotta do it at some point, like 5 million subs?
Sure.
That's another milestone goal. 5 million subscribers. We are going to a local supermarket, switching up the stickers on the yellow kiwi fruit with the stickers on the green kiwi fruit, and then watch people buy them and open them and watch the hilarity.
Yes.
Okay, that was my kind of fact, kind of question of the week. Like, I apologize if you can't fall asleep over contemplating what I just said, but that's mysteries, man. That's mysteries of the universe.
Yes, so then tell us what the second topic for today is.
It is kind of referencing a topic that we did in our very first podcast.
Yes.
We talked about school and things that we liked about school. Specifically, we were talking about high school.
We were talking specifically about things that we didn't like about school, but yes.
Yeah, specifically we were talking about high school, middle school.
Yes.
And as it so happens, for some reason, the both of us currently find ourselves in college.
Yeah, that happened.
It kind of happened, right?
It's not that hard, though.
It's really not. So, we now believe ourselves to be able to draw good comparisons between college and high school.
I mean, I've been there for almost a year, you for almost half a year.
That is true. I started in 1 term later than you did.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
because of my age, but it doesn't matter. All right, so we do know some things about college. This is still going to be most of our personal experiences, but we're just going to compare those two and get to a conclusion of what we like about which one we like better and what we like and dislike about either one. We're not going to get too much into high school again.
Yeah.
Because we did all that personal experience bullshit there. But, like, do you want to point out, like, what do you think is, like, the most important difference? This can also be, like, an educational topic if you're in high school and preparing for college and don't know what to expect.
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me is that where we are going, we don't have to mandatorily appear ever.
That is a big one.
Which means that we could basically sit at home all semester and just basically like read the scripts and then go to our actual like exams and just like if we're good at them, then we get good grades, and that's it.
Exactly. It used to be in high school when you just don't appear because you were legally bound to get there.
Yes.
If it didn't, after a certain amount of like lessons and lectures that you just missed, you could be expelled.
Yes.
Like they could kick you out. They can't really do that in college. You could be in college, not go to any class, not even take any tests.
Yes.
And just still be in college. It'd be a waste of money.
Yeah, of course.
That's stupid. Like don't ever do that. But that's a big thing, right? Another thing is like, and another thing why I believe that college feels a lot easier, counterintuitively somewhat, than high school is first of all the amount of homework. But I thought we mentioned the other one too. For me personally, I'm doing economics, right? We don't have any mandatory homework to do.
Yes, so
like not any.
I'm doing computer science, and right now we basically have to do like one thing a week, and it's like usually like half an hour that I take on that.
Because in school, like in high school, you have to do some every day.
Yeah, we would have to do shit every day, and that would also be like half an hour to an hour every day.
That was like unpleasant.
Not saying that I did it, but we
He
should have.
never did it. He never did it.
I graduated anyways.
He graduated. Like that tells me more about the educational quality than about you, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
Yeah, sure. Also, another thing is the tests themselves, because like the duration of the tests that we took in high school, that went up to 4 hours, right?
Yes.
And in college, for us, it's limited to 60 minutes. It's limited to 60 minutes.
Okay.
Like we're having 1 hour tests for an entire semester. Like for a half a year is a 1 hour test.
I mean, we had like 3 exams last semester. I don't exactly remember how long they were, but they were like 1 or 2 hours. Yeah.
I think they're all 1 hour. Like all of mine will be 1 hour.
I'm not exactly sure how long mine were, but it doesn't matter.
Once they roll around in a couple of yeah. Like by the time we upload this video, we're about getting there. We're getting closer.
Yeah.
To exam time. But yeah. So that's one thing which I really like, because I hated sitting in school in English class or in math and having a test, and it's like 5 hours. I mean, we're in there at like 8 in the morning. It's like, you could come out here like 2 in the afternoon, and I'm set there like but I know math. I know that like. I just do it. I'd be done by like 9:15, and then it forced me to be sat there for like 3 more hours because I can't leave.
Which also is a thing that in college, when I did my exams, I could leave like literally an hour early.
That's pretty good.
It did for one of my exams.
Yep.
Exams I left like half an hour to an hour early. I think it was 2 hours long in total. And then I had to wait for a mutual friend of ours who I had to take home with me, so that was a pain.
I know who that is.
Yes, you know.
But that's alright though. Like in college, there's a lot of stuff you can do, which is another thing, right? I think college there's a better way to spend your time sometimes. Like,
yes.
Like usually you don't know as many people. Like in school, in high school, it was always like, oh, we got like 2 hours of time to spend before our next class, right? So we just sit down.
Play poker,
whatever, right? Play some stupid games because you know everyone.
Yes.
Like you know all the dudes, and that's completely different in college.
Yes, but I mean, you get to know a lot of those people as well.
In college?
Yes.
That's for you, maybe that's more because you got like 30 people in a lecture. Like for me, it's 300.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's
and like
different.
It's a bit different for business administration in the first term because everyone and their mother does it.
Yes, like for me, there's like in the lectures, there's literally probably like 30 people there because like over half those people don't even attend.
Yeah, like we're always in the biggest rooms as well.
Yeah.
And there's like everyone there is a crowd there, and you can just hear people talking on loudspeakers.
But like to be fair, probably like actually knowing people like by name, I probably know like 10 people or so that I'm going to classes with.
I'm not getting anywhere close to that. I'm currently at like 2 or 3. Like,
which you know from school.
No. Like for my like the exact same stuff that I do, like business administration, I met like 2 or 3 people whom I know by name, like 2 or 3, and that's just like and that's just happened by dumb luck too. Like
Yeah, of course.
maybe 4, but like people that you kind of meet when you first enroll, like in the first week. You know, in freshman year, you got these like these events where you get to know everything.
Yeah,
You're walking over the campus and all
yeah,
that.
I
that
went to
stuff
some of those, but
yeah, I went there and they divided us up into groups of 4 people, and
those are the people you know at the end of the day.
those are like one of the dudes that was in that group I do see on a semi-regular basis, like once every week. The other 2, I basically have nothing to do with him no more. And then there's one other girl who I like met sometime, and I see her a couple of times a week, or like once or twice a week. But that's pretty much it. Like that's all the people that I know.
I mean, the group that I was in for like when they showed us around and shit, pretty much for the most part is the same group as the people who I'm now playing D&D with. So you know,
You're a bunch of nerds.
I mean, we are studying computer science. Go figure.
Yeah, that's why I'm not doing that, right? I'm not doing computer science because I don't want.
Also, I love how we just realized that apparently the people who are studying computer science and are total nerds are more social people than the people who study economics.
Apparently, they are, right? Like, I've never been invited to like any of those events, like a gaming evening or whatever.
Also, yeah, talking about that, we do have like I think like once or twice a semester we have game night from like all the people who study computer science and electronic technology.
Of course. We don't have that. I don't think we have that. I literally don't think our council is doing that at all. Like, at all. Like, that's weird, though. Okay, here's another thing, though. Like, talking about people, right? The thing is that I felt like the diversity of people that you see and meet and see walking around in college is a lot bigger than it is in high school. Because in high school, everyone's like they're just regular people, right? And no, you don't really like any of them, or like really few of them, and the other ones are like, for fuck's sake, they are there. Like they're just there.
To be fair, the whole diversity point is mostly because we're from a smaller town. Yes. I'm pretty sure if you go to a school in a bigger city, there is the same degree of diversity as with college. It's just that there are not as many colleges, which is force us to go to the city.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But now what I was saying is like from like the stance that you have towards people.
Oh, I thought you meant like skin color, sexuality, all that fun stuff. No, because there's also more diversity in that.
I was not saying. Yeah, that's true. We have a lot of like Asians running around in our college because there's like an exchange program. I don't know people's sexualities though. Like honestly, I don't know. I've never questioned anyone of that because I haven't made friends with anyone that closely.
Interestingly enough, I had a conversation about that kind of stuff like a year before I went to college when we were doing one of those things in college, like one of their programs.
Right.
Where we both went to.
Oh, that one?
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
When I was talking to some people...
It was basically a United Nations simulation. That's how we learned about politics.
So...
We was able to get like 3 days off of school and dress up in suits and go to these seminars and pretend to be politicians. It was fun.
Also, we got pins, which is pretty great.
Also, they got to do that again this year. And
they do that every year.
And we should go.
Yes, so that's also a thing that you can look into. They're called... I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's MUN. They are all over the world.
It's Model United Nations.
Yes, it's Model United Nations. You
can they do it everywhere.
They do it everywhere. So there was actually a conversation where sexuality did come up.
Did it?
Just like at random. You weren't there, but you know,
I probably was. Yeah, you was sitting in another council too, because you was a military dude. He was in the NATO council, whereas I was concerned with human rights. The dude was just concerned with killing people.
Because
that's basically what
happened. Not exactly, but
basically.
Also, the reason why we were in different councils was because we registered through our school, and they messed it up so that we basically registered like the last time we could.
And they just slotted us in like for horrible seats in some random council.
Instead of like a month or two in advance, like everyone else would normally do.
Yeah, it was
because school is horrible.
It was a bit of a kerfuffle. That is true. But what I meant basically was like getting back to the whole people thing, and we're getting off topic real good. But that's what podcasts are, right?
Yeah, and I mean it technically was somewhat on topic.
Yeah,
it was about college and school.
True. Yeah, fair enough. Even though there's not that much comparison, but one comparison that I want to draw is like the attitude, like the stance that you have towards people, because I said that in school, like there's a couple of friends that you kind of close with, and there's a bunch of people that you have nothing to do with. Like, you
Which
see
is
them
mostly
every day,
because we're not that social of people. Some
but
would-
you see them every day, but you don't really talk to them that much, like a couple of words. And that's it, like, they're just there. And in college, there's a lot of people who are, like, you meet horrible people, and you meet really good people for, like, sometimes.
I mean, that's the same in school, though.
It just seems more, it just seems a lot...
It's more people, yes.
It just seems a lot more, a bigger of a difference to me in college. Like, there's really bad people, like, really, like, people you do not want to surround yourself with. Like, they just there to waste their lives. Which is, like, for some reason how people see college sometimes.
Yeah, to be fair, like, again, I'm studying computer science, there's not a lot of people, and there's also not that much diversity as with, like, people who study economies, which pretty much everyone and their mother does, as you said.
Yes.
Everyone who doesn't know what else to do.
That's true for a lot of them, and that's kind of the problem, right? But there's also a lot of, like, the, like, absolute amount of intellectuals is definitely higher. Like, there's really intelligent people there, and really, like, good people. But they're still outnumbered by stupid idiots who got nothing better to do, right? Than, like drink every fucking weekend and waste their lives and just be morons.
One would assume that the people who go to college are those who actually want to further their education,
Yes.
but surprisingly enough, not as much of the case necessarily.
Not necessarily. Like, it's a bit of a filter. Like, the people who already struggled mightily in high school, they don't go to college.
Yeah.
Some of them do. Some of them, if they have the money, I mean, fuck, why not do it? They can do it. They can do whatever they want to. But that's what I was saying. Like, there's a few people who are actually really cool, and there's a load of people who are, like, horrible. But that's my opinion, though. That's not a mainstream opinion. That's not a popular opinion either. Like, that horrible person that I'm talking about is the average person, basically. Unfortunately, don't get offended. You're great. Like, I'm sure none of these dudes watch our videos. If you are, then, you know, no, you're not. I mean, you're cool. You're
watching our videos basically qualifies you to be a cool person, right?
That is true. Well, in the mainstream, it doesn't. It doesn't do this.
I mean, in our opinion.
It does the exact opposite. But in our opinion, which is the only thing that matters in this world, of course, yeah. Okay, so that's one of the points that I wanted to really bring up in this topic.
Any other big points there?
I like how you wrote down. I don't have any from the top of my head right now. I like how you wrote down as a conclusion on our note sheet. Right, he wrote down the spoilers of this, like, kind of debate, and he wrote down college wins.
I mean, there's no question about that, is there?
There really isn't. Like, it's so much more relaxed. It's like, it honestly feels easier. It feels even easier. It feels a lot more relaxed. You don't have to go anywhere. Like, you should go if you want to keep up. If you can do all the stuff right, if you know what's going on, you don't have to go there, and you can just pass the test. If you pass it, it's alright. It's a lot more of a relaxed environment.
One thing
Definitely.
about that I just want to quickly bring up is the one difference in the relaxed stuff is that I do actually have to learn a bit for exams as opposed to school.
Still don't do it.
Because of the simple fact that I don't attend necessarily every single lecture, and that I just have to, like, look up all the stuff that we did over the semester.
I'll attend classes until I get it, and then and from that point on, I'll just, like, I'll get it, and I can pass the test, and I don't go there anymore, and I won't really study either. I mean, I haven't taken a test in college yet, so I might be talking completely out of my ass right now. But, like, that's how I feel.
You know what I mean? I'm saying, like, I did, like, probably, like, 2 hours per exams or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot.
Of studying.
Yes, of studying.
Yeah, that's not much.
Instead of, like, nothing at all.
Yeah, people have been studying for weeks. There's people who study for, like, people who already, at this point, the point of recording, have started to study for exams. That's going to happen in months.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if that, I mean, that's not a life. Like, seriously, I could never do that.
So, I believe that's it for that debate.
Let us know your opinions again. Are you in school? Are you in college? Which one do you like better? If you're in college, is it better than high school? If you're in high school, are you looking forward to college? Do you think it's going to be easier? Spoilers, yes, it is going to be easier. It's also going to be more expensive.
So, that transitions us into our final topic, kind of.
It's always my favorite.
Yes.
It is my favorite.
I mean, we gotta leave it on a high note.
It's a high note. It's a musical high note. Okay.
So yes, the song of the week.
The song of the week. Do you want to start?
Yes, so
Let's hear it.
as per usual, I'm going a bit more with just what I'm feeling right now, so
He's feeling it.
right now I want to bring up as song of the week Living on the Edge by Aerosmith.
It's interesting, right? That's a good song. It's also a bit of like the criticism, the social criticism in there. Like, were you doing that like intentionally with the politics?
Nope, that was pure coincidence because I just like heard that song like a few times over the week and I just, I'm just kind of feeling it right now.
It's a good song. There's a bit of criticism in there, like social criticism. Like you should definitely look at the lyrics.
It's also funny how, as you said, like the song of the week sometimes just happens to line up with our topics, like in the first
stuff.
podcast.
Okay, so my song of the week doesn't line up with any of the topics that we dealt with at all. It's a song by Runrig, and that's a good thing. Whether you like it or not, it's Flower of the West by Runrig, because that's the latest song of the band that I've actually added to my playlist, and I've been listening to that quite a fair bit over the last week, and it's a good song. Like, it's not a song for everyone. They have a very specific style. You either love them or you can't really do anything with them. I happen to love them. It's a pretty good song. I mean, I like it. It's a beautiful song. So you do definitely need to listen to both of those songs. If you don't know them, if you do, listen to them again, because they're awesome. Like, I hope we could introduce you to a bit of good music today.
Yes.
Favorite part of the podcast every single time, hands down.
Yes. So I believe that is it.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it.